Awesome. Okay. Welcome everybody. Welcome Vicky and Doug in studio. I think there's a few more joining us here soon too, John. And then welcome to all our YouTube people.
Awesome.
Um,
Okay.
so happy to have everybody here. A couple announcements on the Seven Movements front. Um, if you were paying attention, last week we launched three of our programs, including John's chronic back pain 30-day protocol. We have our Parkinson's 30-day protocol, and then Melissa's fall prevention 30 days protocol. You can find all those at sevenmovements.com. They're just a great comprehensive way to get started with movement snacking. They include a ebook, live labs like this with the coach, with John, and the what else do we got in there, John? A movement snacking program to go along with it. Um, so welcome everybody. Welcome to the YouTube group of people. And John, I'm going to let you take it away, and then we can cover some more questions here at the back end of the program.
Great. Awesome. Thanks. All right, everyone. Today we're going to do a bunch of microdoses starting at the very top of our heads, and we're going to work our way all the way down to the bottom of the feet. So we've got lots of work to do today. I'm going to start my clock. If at any point in time you need to be at a chair, that's okay too. We're going to do it as much as we can standing, and if we feel you need to get to a chair, then I'm going to show you some things that you can do in your chair. So first thing we want to do is we want to test some motion. So let's go ahead and we're just going to check some motion at your head. Moving your head up and down. Getting a sense of what that feels like in your neck. Okay, and once you've done up and down, then we're going to switch to left to right. So we're looking at rotation in the neck. Get a sense again, what does that feel like in the neck? What does it feel like in the muscles? What does it feel like in the joints? And then we're going to tilt your ear from side to side like you're pouring water out of your ears. Again, what does that feel like in and around the neck? And then we're going to come back and do some strategies to improve motion at the cervical spine, i.e. the neck. So the first one we're going to do is we're going to do a rub and scrub of the head. You're going to take your hands, put them on the back of your skull. You're going to rub vigorously with some pressure. Try to create a little bit of heat in your back of your head, right at where the tissues attach to the skull. Okay, and then we're going to go a little bit lower to where the neck meets the skull. We're going to rub across that spot. Again, get it nice and hot. Use your fingers to apply some pressure. Okay, and now we're going to rub and scrub the temporal area of the skull. A lot of people refer to that as the temple, but if you say temporal really fast, it sounds like temple. So you're going to go up and down on the big muscles, the temporalis muscle of the face and head. Okay, then you're going to rub the front side of the skull or your forehead. Again, with the fingertips. This is on the frontalis muscle. Go right over top of the eyebrow. Okay. And then we're going to go behind the jaw. So I'm going to go behind my ear, get to that point there. I'm going to rub that with my thumbs. So I'm kind of running on the jawbone that comes down like that. I'm going to get on that tissue. Okay, now that we've done a little bit of massage around the big anchor points, we've hydrated the connective tissue around those anchor points of the head that the neck attaches into. So let's go ahead and try some motion now. So you're going to turn your head, go up and down with your head. That is light years better for me on that one. Okay, then let's test rotation. So much better in rotation. How are you feeling? And then let's go tilt the head side to side. Still use a little bit motion when my ear goes to the left, my left ear to the left on this one. So we're going to address that next. So now we're going to rub and scrub all around the collarbone. So the collarbone extends from the point of the shoulder all the way down to the sternum. So let's get one hand on the top of the collarbone. and scrub across that collarbone. Again, now we're looking at the muscles that attach below the neck onto these bones. So we want to try and hydrate the connective tissue around there. Okay, then go to the other collarbone. You run it all the way out to the point of the shoulder. Okay, and we're going to get on your sternum. So right where the sternum meets the collarbone, we're going to scrub up and down on there. All the way down the breastplate, right into the rib cage. Okay, and then let's test the head motion. So we're going up and down. I should feel like your head's moving better now. Okay, turn left to right. And then tilt ear left to right. Oh yeah, that's better. Awesome. Okay, so we've done some cervical spine rub and scrub. Let's get into our thoracic spine a little bit. So you're gonna lift your one arm up, just like you're cleaning yourself in the shower. We're gonna rub up and down and then across the rib cage, right at where the arm meets the ribs, just underneath the big chest muscles on the lateral side of the rib cage. Then we're gonna go to the other side. All these ribs attached to the spine. So we want to loosen up the connective tissue around the spine. All on the rib cage. Okay. Now you're just going to take your elbows, rotate across your body. Nice and slow and smooth. Okay, now we're going to take our arms, we're going to reach them up towards the sky. I'm going to flex my spine to the side. So I'm reaching and grabbing a star while staying firmly planted to the ground. Okay, and then we're going to reach out in front of you while turning. Very good. And then we're going to reach towards your toes. And you're going to go all the way overhead and behind you. Then reach towards your toes. Back behind. So think about moving from the muscles of the back. Move from those bones, reach, flex them, extend them. One more time. Very good. Let's get into the hips a little bit. So this next one, we're going to combine the hips and the arms together. So we're going to have you stagger your stance. So you got 1 foot further forward than the other. If you're in a chair, you do the same thing. You just got 1 foot further forward than the other. Okay. I'm going to do it standing. So we got 1 foot further forward than the other. We're going to take one arm overhead, and we're just going to turn the spine. Turn the spine, let your head go with your hands. Okay, put the other hand up with the opposite leg forward and rotate. Okay, Keeping one leg, we're gonna switch to the other leg forward here. This time your arm is gonna go forward or behind your ear. At the same time, I want you to take your chin, take it with your hand. Then you're gonna reach down towards the ground, bring your head towards your chest. So letting the neck move with the thoracic spine and the shoulder. Transition to seated. You guys can keep standing if you are. Okay, and do the same thing with my other foot forward. Taking my eyes back with my hands. Let your eyes go back to the back of your skull. Nice and slow and controlled. Seated in a ground on the chair, same idea. Okay. Stagger our stance one last time. Here I'm going to take my opposite side arm is going to go over my ear as I drive my hips to the side. Let my ear, like I'm pouring water out of my ear there also. Okay, other side. Okay, let's get the lower leg involved here now. So the first one we're going to do is we're just going to stagger your stance. We're going to raise up on our toes. When we raise up on your toes, you're going to reach your arms to the ceiling like you're tickling the clouds. Okay, so I'm just going to back up a little bit more so you can see my feet. There we go. So you're going to let's stagger your stance. That's just going to give you a little bit of balance. We a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. Just raise up on the toes, reach your arms up. If you feel real brave, you can take your head back so you can see the stars that you're grabbing. It's a little bit more challenging on your balance and your vestibular system than looking straight forward. Okay, let's put the other foot forward, same drill. You want to find a way to regress this. You have one hand on the chair at the same time. It's there for balance. And I'm just doing same, both toes are raising up. But I just got one arm going overhead. Again, make sure your head goes back, reach to the sky. Okay. We're going to change our directions now. Okay. So we're going to step to the side. As we step to the side, this hand's going to come down. I need you to turn your head as though somebody's keep giving you a bowl full of soup, but from way down low. So we're going to step to the side. Someone's handing you a bowl of soup. Turn your head down and rotate your head. So just a small step to the side. Rotate, take that bowl of soup. Okay, let's go to the other side. Step to the side. Receive a big bowl of soup. Rotating your head as you do it. Okay, great. This next one we're gonna do is we're gonna step back. You're gonna open your hips up. At the same time, you're gonna take your opposite hand and open like you're going to reach and turn a door knob. So it's gonna be at about waist height. Reach like you're opening up a doorknob. Let that head rotate with you. Your eyes rotate with your hands. Okay, and we'll go to the other side. Step and rotate. Step and rotate. I'm taking my back foot and turning it with me. So remember to take your back foot, let it spin with you. Very good. Okay, if you happen to have a chair handy, you can do that for a little bit of stretching here. For our third little micro dose, we'll do some recovery and try to get some tissues long, some tissues that we were working on before. So I'm going to put my hands on the top of my chair here. I'm just going to reach my hips back. Just sink into that. Feel like you're creating lots of length along your spine. Keep those toes anchored into the ground. Just hold that pose. Really hard to get into some of the end ranges of motion that we have if we don't control our breathing. So let's just take some deep breaths. Expand the rib cage. One more time. Now try and do that same exercise and see if that felt like you had a little bit more space there in your spine now. Keep that same cadence in your breathing, expand the ribs. Okay, walk a little bit closer to this chair. We're going to stagger your stance. I'm going to put, if my left hand's on the chair, I'm going to put my right hand forward. Take my thumb. I'm going to rotate it, and I'm going to keep my eyes fixed on my thumb. And then I'm just going to keep coming back here. So your eyes stay fixed on your thumb. Doing a little bit of eye tracking. Eyes are going with the head and the shoulder. Okay, let's go to the other side. Staggered stance, opposite hand on the chair that the foot is forward. Thumbs out in front of you. Let your head track with your thumb. Nice tall posture, helping your spine rotate better. Very good. Okay, take a really wide stance here. We're gonna do a thumb tracking with balance here. What I'm gonna have you do is I want your head to stay straight forward, as though someone's attached the string to your nose. It's attached to the wall and it won't let you move your head. You're only gonna move your eyes. And come back. Come back. Come back. We're gonna go to the other side now. Hands on the chair. Tracking only from the eyes. Back. Back one more time. Very good. Just let your eyes get level with the horizon here for a second. While you're doing that, while you're at your chair, just do a little march for the calves and for the lower legs here. This is my favorite exercise to do when you're stuck in a area of 1 square feet, 1 square foot, I should say, and you don't have any other room to go, but you need to start moving. This is the ultimate exercise you can do for that. You create a calf pump. The calves are your second heart of the body. So just by pumping the legs into a marching position here, create some ground up circulation. Okay, stay on your toes, raise up, hold that pose. Come back down. And again, raise up nice and tall, hold that pose. Come back down. Again. Think about getting as tall as you can, like a ballerina. Taking good form and space in the body. Okay, one more time. Hold. And relax. Good job today, folks. How did you feel? Great. Vicky, that looks awesome. Were you a former ballet dancer? No? Look good. Nice job.
Awesome. Thanks, John. That was awesome.
Welcome.
So as always, we'll open up first to the people who showed up in studio today to ask questions. We have a few coming through on YouTube here, John, and I'll share, but let's just give everyone here on the call a chance to ask a question first. I think Vicky's trying to unmute herself, so I'll give her a chance here.
I don't really have a question, but I'm just glad I found you guys. I like to do the little exercises. I guess, or maybe I do have a question. Sometimes I'm not progressing when I get a new day, and I think it's the resiliency protocol, but it isn't let me, like, I'm still on like one and two, I think. So
Do you mean when you go to our movement snacking platform, Vicky? You're
yes.
getting the same video each time?
Yeah.
How long have you been on that program?
Well, I've had a busy week. I haven't done it much this week, but I started keeping track in April.
Okay.
And I was getting different ones, but then it'll start repeating again.
Yeah, sometimes what will happen if you leave the platform for a certain period of time, it'll divert you back to starting the program again.
Oh, that's probably what happened.
So the program's really designed for you to progress over time, and what we don't want happening is where you start the program and then you miss 3 or 4 days. You might not be ready actually for the next progression. We actually have to go backwards and have you do those initial movement snacks again. So that could be very well what's happening to you, but
Yeah.
you let me know if anything happens where you're just like, hey, I've gotten the same one like 7 days in a row here and I've done it consistently.
Okay.
Then there's a problem. But if not, it could be just that you're ending up on the days where it's taking you back to the beginning of the program again.
Yeah. Okay. That might explain it. Thank you.
No problem. Awesome. All right, John, I'm going to kick one over from YouTube here to you. It's a little bit of our classic question, but maybe a little bit of a spin on it. And it's, how often should I be movement snacking throughout the day? And this person in particular says that like your movements make their knee feel better in the moment, but then about an hour later, their knee starts hurting again. So how often should they be doing that strategy?
Yeah, and I'm not really sure what's going on with your knee, so I won't try to venture a guess and to diagnose what's going on with your knee and then how we would make it feel better. But what I would say is the more frequently you're moving, the better your body's going to feel. Generally, if there is a structural problem with your knee, let's just say, for example, you have a torn meniscus or a torn cartilage in your knee, you'll probably feel better throughout the movement because we're moving through fluids through that area. But if you actually have a structural problem with the knee, like arthritis or a torn meniscus, then the pain signal that you're sensing, the brain still feels that there's a threat going on, and that structural problem has not been relieved yet. And so the more frequently you do the doses or go back to the thing that kind of made you feel like, wow, it felt a whole lot better having done that, I would do that more frequently until the pain signal starts to go away from that. If it continues to happen and you haven't had any another therapist or doctor look at your particular knee, I would highly suggest you go see the doctor to see what kind of structural issues you might have there. If it's just a tensional thing where, hey, yeah, I don't really have anything structural, but I sit for long periods of time and I get kind of sore knees, then the more frequently you get up and move, the better that's going to be. So there's no maximum on how many times you should microdose or be moving throughout the day. It's really about, do I feel better after I have been doing these movements? And then the more frequently I do them, the better my joints are going to feel and the better the communication that happens through my body so that I'm not getting that pain signal as high as it used to be. So stick with it. If you're starting to feel great with it, like I would just do another dose as soon as you start feeling it coming on. And then pretty soon, hopefully that time between pain signals starts to get longer and longer, and then we don't have pain anymore.
Awesome. We had someone jump in on that comments and they said they're doing a 7-minute snack every hour while at work. So they're really dedicated to moving a lot. So John, talk a little bit about actually, this isn't your program, it's Melissa's program, but you can definitely talk on it. So Vicky's actually doing this program right now, the fall resiliency protocols. So I think the question's mainly about how does movement snacking help with fall resiliency? Why is it important?
I think a lot of people think that falls are related to balance. And while that's a part of it, it's really related to your motor system. So your motor system is controlled by the brain, the spinal cord, how it communicates with the connective tissue and muscular system, and how we organize those patterns into being able to be efficient and effective at a particular task. So the task being don't fall over requires us to have the capacity to be able to organize where your body parts are in time and space. That's controlled primarily through the vestibular system. So that is your writing reflexes where your eyes are parallel to the horizon, your ears are parallel to the horizon, and your jaw position is parallel to the horizon. So if your head tips forward quite quickly and you have low blood pressure, then it's going to give you a wave of where your brain goes, I don't know where I am in time and space. And immediately there needs to be a reaction happening from the brain and how it coordinates all that. Oftentimes we think, well, I don't have very good balance and therefore I'm at risk for a fall. That can be, balance is us identifying where you are in time and space, right? And being able to keep your center of mass over your base of support. So your center of mass is just maybe about an inch or two higher than your belly button. And so I need to learn how to get my head over my foot, my head over my foot. When I drive my head over top of my foot, that's going to bring my center of mass closer to my base of support when I have one leg further forward. Now, in order to get really good at preventing a fall, I need to have a vast inventory of motor skills. I need to be able to squat. I need to be able to lunge especially. I need to be able to push and be able to catch myself. I need to be able to turn on the brakes real quickly. So I need my motor system to be able to be very reactive. And all those skills happen from us practicing being in a variety of different positions. So we like to start by exercising from the ground up, and then exercising from being really tall and working your way down towards the ground. So a lot of the patterns that I'm taking you through here, if you think about what we did today, we added a lot of eye tracking exercises. So we went with the cervical spine. Once the cervical spine moves well, then the brain knows where you are in time and space. There's no alterations. If I'm stuck here and I want to get my eyes going that way, my cervical spine can't help out. My eyes have to get there, and my brain is stuck wondering where I am in time and space. So the eyes need to communicate with the head position. My head position needs to work on the motion of the cervical spine, but the cervical spine is really almost best buddies with the thoracic spine. So our thoracic spine, our eyes, our cervical spine, and our head all need to communicate together. And that's why we were doing a lot of these drills today and doing eye tracking drills to exercise the eyeballs so they have flexibility to move in the skull, but also so that the skull can move on a fixed eye point, right? So if my eyes stay on the screen, but I move my head, that's my head on eyes versus my eyes moving on my head. Okay, so I need to be able to be very flexible in where my eyes move in, well, I guess it'd be, I can move my eyes side to side, up and down. I can move in diagonals. I can move them into a half circle in both directions. And I need to be able to practice where my eyes are. So often now we don't exercise our eyes as much because we're fixed in front of screens, whether it's a television or a computer or phones or a tablet. We tend to have a fixed eye gaze, and that's not good for our fall resiliency and the communication that we need as we move. So that's why we built some of those things in today, was just to give you guys a thorough understanding of how we can group all these things together in a simple little movement dose.
Awesome. Thanks, John. One more question for you. This an interesting question popped up on YouTube. It's someone who's doing one of our protocols. Actually, I don't know which one they're in, to be honest with you. Might be the fall resiliency protocol, but it doesn't matter. So when you do one of the protocols, you get a daily micro lesson, an education piece. So I just wanted to get your, they want your perception as a coach, someone who coaches people on a daily basis. Why is the knowing the why and the education part so important to all of this? Like, why not? I guess the flip side is that why not just tell people what to do and just start moving and do the movement snacking thing? Why are we going ahead and attaching an education component to these protocols?
Yeah, I think the pursuit of us finding purpose and meaning behind why we do things is kind of like, that's the essence of the human spirit. I think we're all we could be searching for lots of information in really easy ways because information is infinite now, but knowledge and the practical application of knowledge is wisdom. And it requires us to be able to learn things and then go practice things in order for us to be resilient human beings. So whether you're in the resilience program or you're in the Parkinson's protocol or you're in the low back pain protocol, I need to find out what it is and the reasons behind why my body is in particular needs to improve in some area. And in order to do that, I need to learn something and understand why biology is the way it is or why psychology is the way it is. And then I need to be able to apply that in a way that's meaningful to me personally. So my experience going through the 30-day protocol and me having to handle my low back pain might be different than Dan's low back pain or Melissa's low back pain. So what we need to do is we need to find that simple little thing that gives us an aha moment and then connect it with a movement snack that relates specifically to it. And when we do that, then what we've gone through is not only just did I learn some information, but now I've personally applied it in a way that is meaningful to me. And so our search for meaning and purpose has far more validity, but application to our own daily lives. And that's where I guess that's why I'm not a millionaire, Dan. It's because I've always hated the idea of you just follow this one program and I'll sell it to everybody in the world and we'll call it Johnny X program, right? And everyone does the Johnny X program. No, I want to spend time educating folks so they can learn how to do this to heal themselves. So it's not one program or one protocol that's going to work for people, because that will never work. That's kind of why, in a lot of cases, physical therapy hasn't worked for people. And I'm not crapping all over physical therapy, but I've been in the industry and I know that that's really how exercise prescription is written by physical therapists, is a singular protocol, a singular exercise for a singular problem. And that's not how it works. Every person that comes through my doors, we have themes of types of activity that we teach, because everybody will come in complaining of low back pain, but their source of it is always different in every single person that I've worked with. So I hope that answered the question.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think, I'm the guy who's putting together the education in the background. Like our coaches build it. And then, so I've been going through my own education by being able to see how you guys, all the experts, are putting this together in the background. And something valuable that's come out of it for me, and as I'm seeing people interact with it, is like our movement snacking approach is designed to help you build the behavior of moving more frequently throughout the day, right?
Yep.
So, hey, we've got you moving more frequently throughout the day. Here's a bunch of versions of movement snacks that you can do. You can come to our clinics like you did today. You can access our platform where we have all kinds of different movement snacks, but there's nothing more powerful from when you know how to adjust a movement snack to your own ability or adjust it so it feels right for you. It doesn't have to look exactly like it looks on the video. And once you know that, as someone who has learned what their movement bubble is and what's happening when they do said movement, that's when like the real magic happens from an adherence standpoint and like lifelong learning and application standpoint. And that's why I'm really excited about those protocols, because you'll walk away 30 days later with 30 little nuggets of information that make you just a little bit smarter, and a little bit more knowledgeable about what's going on in your body. But then also, while you are doing your movement snacks, now you have the knowledge to adjust them as you need, and be confident in your decision making to do so.
Yep.
And like I've said this before, John, right? Like this is my problem with wearables. I really love wearables in some cases because it collects some really interesting data for us. And as coaches, that data can become somewhat valuable. But there's something that bothers me about something I'm wearing on my wrist that's telling me how ready I am today. I don't like that. I'll tell myself, like, I want to feel how ready I am today. And I think with the right knowledge and education, I can make a better educated guess for myself than just listening to something buzzing on my wrist. So
Yep.
that's how I look at it. I don't know if
Yep.
that's right or wrong either.
No, I think like us having knowledge is one thing, but then also having the skills and the abilities to know what to do and when to do and how much to do, right? Because like I've been writing programs for athletes and clients for 30 years. And every time I write a program, I like to say everything looks good on paper, right? And then you do it and your body's like, I don't think I can do this today, right? And that's okay. And so programming is an art form. It's us trying to organize the best possible outcome that could come from this particular program, but it's only going to be valuable when you have the knowledge and skills and abilities to know how to tweak these things, right? And that's what we're giving you in these protocols. Is that's what's the education is driven around.
Yeah, well, and you know what? Like what makes the other piece that I'm really passionate about on the education front, without education, you become vulnerable to bad information.
Yep.
And I'll give you a really good example I had this weekend, John, is I was speaking to a colleague of mine. He has a shoulder problem. I don't know what that shoulder problem is, but I know he has a shoulder problem and it causes him a lot of pain. But he's following a program from some guy follows on Instagram, right? And he got a program, and he was telling me, Dan, I've been following this program for 2 weeks and my shoulder hurts every day. And I said, well, what? Why are you following? Like, what program are you following? Why are you doing that? Well, it's just what I'm supposed to do. Like he said, like I this is what like he gave me, and I'm just going to do this program. And I'm like, but your shoulder's hurting. Like, what's going on there? So he doesn't have the knowledge and understanding to ask a question, even of like, should I be doing something different? Should I be moving different? And I'm seeing this across the board, especially with like that population who maybe has spent a lot of time, a lot of their life sedentary, and they're trying to get going.
Yeah.
And they'll just follow a general program. And if you don't have the education, you become very vulnerable to poor or misinformation, let's call it.
Yeah. In the late 90s and early 2000s, in personal training education was really advancing, and so we started to share best practices with physical therapists and educators, and some of the brightest minds in the world were openly sharing things. And I think part of that was because there wasn't a direct marketplace where, you know, one person could come up with one method and then try and sell it to the world. And I think what's happened now is that's what everybody's trying to do, is sell their one method that differentiates them from everybody else. And we're in that camp as well.
Yep.
The difference, I think, of where we're trying to go is trying to guide people on how to get there instead of telling them. And that's really the art of coaching, right? Is I'm going to give you, here are some tools. Here's a system of how you organize those tools and how to apply them along with the science, and then organize it in such a way that you actually feel change. And you have to feel change right away. It's usually why we start with circulation, right? We know that if we hydrate tissue, I'm going to move the joint better right away. So with your friend, if I knew that he had a shoulder problem, had pain in his shoulder, that has to be the first thing that I address. Because if I can increase his confidence, he's going to want to follow the program. So I would create a strategy around, let's do a push-up. Let's see how your push-up feels, right? If he gets pain from a push-up, then he's probably not going to enjoy doing push-ups. But if I can give him a strategy that immediately made his push-up feel better, he would instantly be like, all right, there's some validity to these strategies, right? And that's what we've done in these protocols, is they have to be anchored. The movement has to be anchored to a positive outcome. Otherwise, it's just exercises, right? Like if I came up with a protocol, which is like what happens in physical therapy. I get clients that go see physical therapists that I don't know, and they come back and they go, John, I've got 37 sets of exercise I need to do for my tennis elbow. I'm like, 36 sets? Like, how are you doing 12 different exercises, 3 sets for your elbow? They go, well, we got me doing this and then that, and then this, and then that, and then this. And they want me to do it 3 times. I was like, how are you going to get that done in the day? And then the goal is to not irritate connective tissue, but yet you're doing that much volume when that tissue can't tolerate it. So what we're starting to see is that it's almost like the de-evolution of exercise, like happening before the late 90s, which is, here's a compendium of exercises, just go do this. And we call that programming. And this is the problem that we're running into now, is well, I got to do these many exercises, or I got to do these exercises because they said these were the top 5 exercises to do for the shoulders, right? And that's why people are getting so confused now. There's no real rhyme or reason as to why we would do things in certain orders. So that's what we've done, is we've tried to give people in a 30-day program, here are the systems behind why we organize things in the way that we do. And we're gonna go thematically through it. So by the end of 30 days, you've understood the whole monster of what we've done, but we've done it in just little bits over that time. So we're not throwing the whole kitchen sink at you.
Yeah, that's great. So maybe I'll wrap it up with this. I see Vicky still in the call. Like Vicky, I think when we know what will show us that we were successful at the end of your 30-day program, that fall resiliency program that you're in, is that you'll be able to really identify the movement snacks that feel right for you. And you'll kind of know why, right? You'd be like, this is why I do X, is when I feel like Y. And then when you can make that personal decision for yourself, that's when we know we've gotten you right exactly where we want to get you. because now that's true movement confidence because you're self-empowered. You're not relying even on us to tell you what to do. You're like, I know I do this when my hip feels like this, and it makes it better. And that'll lead all of those great outcomes that you're looking for around fall resiliency or whatever it is that you're trying to do. So, awesome, everybody. We went a little long today because John and I get a little bit excited talking about this stuff sometimes, but thanks for sticking with us. Hopefully we'll see you next Monday. Pain-Free Movement Monday is always free. It's here on Mondays. Remember, if you're enrolled in one of the protocols, I know Carolyn, Vicky, you have specific fall resiliency live labs with Melissa that are available to you. So ask Melissa about those. Carolyn, you're with Catherine, who built our Parkinson's program. So make sure that you guys access those because it's an opportunity to speak directly with the coaches who built those programs. Carolyn, are you trying to unmute yourself? I'll wait for you just in case. I saw you poking at your screen, so I better not run away from you. Oh, I think you're still muted, Carolyn, if you're trying to say something.
Okay, so I got the message that it was time to sign in, but Fernan and Catalina and Dan did not get a communication. How can I arrange for them to get that communication? We are not under the same roof anymore.
You know what, Carolyn, I think what I would do, because you signed up with a specific email, right? It would have been probably your email.
Yes.
Yeah, just forward the communications on to them.
Okay.
That'll be the best way to do it. Otherwise, it'll get really unnecessarily complicated. So that'll keep things easy for you as you can just share that with them.
All right. I will do that tomorrow.
Great.
I
Fantastic.
expect, yeah, because my brother had a concussion and his wife has Parkinson's. And I think this is something that they need. And her son is actually a coach, a triathlon coach. So he's used to coaching people who have strength and skills in youth. And this will give him additional skills in coaching old
Amazing.
people with significant limitations. Yes.
Yeah, that's it. You're in, I believe, signed up with the Parkinson's program with Catherine. So yeah, that'll be fantastic for them. And yeah, just forward on the emails to them. And if you have any questions, Carolyn, just send me another email and we'll make sure we have them signed up for everything that they need to be signed up for.
Very good. Okay. So I'll let him know. I'll forward it and see if he gets on tomorrow, and I'll tell him to let me know immediately.
Okay, great.
All right.
All right, everybody.
Okay.
Have a fantastic day.
All
Take care.
right.
Bye.
Bye.